Okay, everybody, good afternoon. Good afternoon. VTP Stage 2 online, Technical Tuesday coaching call number 180, all right, for the 3rd of February 2026. Hope you're all well. Hope you have enjoyed a good start to the week. All right, hope you are ready for what will probably be another interesting and eventful week in markets in 2026. As always, you're very welcome here, but just remember that you're always responsible for your own trading decisions. And if you want a little bit more help and a bit more support, the last chance to join the Q1 $26 Edge FX swing trading mentorship is available. Okay, and that'll be a chance to join us for the sort of next 8-9 weeks or so. Just going through a very simple, clear swing FX trading process. You can ping me or you can use the QR code. All right, as always, let's finish with sterling. So it was actually a pretty good morning intraday for sterling this morning. Okay, yesterday was a bit dreary, but this morning was good. All right, it was good. But let's have a look at here. So, bang, what have we got here? Cable, Euro sterling, pound Aussie, pound Canadian, FTSE, pound Kiwi, pound Swiss, pound yen. Okay, so cable, right? So we've just seen that the kind of moves that we saw there across the board, as in, we had, almost like 2 weeks of good runs. Okay, dollar weakness all after sort of Greenland, Davos, etc. But then if you look at cable here, this is kind of my bread and butter here. A fantastic trend. Loving that, but then always realizing that it doesn't take much for the dollar to reverse. And here we had a double top. Okay, and the kind of the second high is lower, and then invariably you're getting that kind of follow through from that. That is, it's a 1, 2, 3 double top there. Okay, riding it a bit like Kiwi dollar that we looked at. It's just at the moment it's just riding the 50, isn't it? It's riding that 50. Okay, the 20 has rolled over. We had really nice PO20 on a farmer there. Okay, it's just rolled its way over, and now once again, as I said, I think it's coiling up. And of course, remember we've got Bank of England on Thursday. I don't think anybody's expecting Bank of England to do anything or make any cuts or changes, but people will be kind of sitting on the sidelines in front of it, and then basically also seeing what Bailey's got to say for himself there. Okay, so don't be surprised if it's a little bit dull over the next 48 hours. Pound against yen, is just it's scrappy. All right, it's scrappy. Yep, we were in that great trend where literally all you had to do was buy anything and sell the yen. We've been a bit messy here, but we came back to the 50, and the way I look at it is that the prices there is a bit messy here. Let me just draw this in. This is like what I'd be sort of saying is like diamonds. Okay, I think I might have said this diamonds. Right, you've got a broadening formation and then a tightening formation. So I would probably expect price to basically to go up here and then come down again. Okay, and then you've got basically a diamond. All right, what looks like a diamond there. That's what my view would be at this moment. There you're looking at, well, what's going to happen there? Is that invariably going to be sterling strength, or are we going to see some yen strength? Okay, certainly Taki G's comments over the last 48 hours, she's keen as mustard to weaken the yen, not unsurprisingly. Okay, when she's driving an economy, an export-led economy, and she also wants to win the snap general election. She's called, but yeah, the kind of price action there on there is it's building. If I look at the 4-hour chart, if you look at that 4-hour chart, those kind of lows we looked at, that is just kind of pivoting there around the 200 period moving average. All right, it's kind of working its way up. It's not the prettiest of price action. I would probably sort of say, if anything, excuse my drawing, you may be just looking at kind of, a zone there up around about what's about 213, 214. That's maybe where I'd probably be looking at as as where this move might take us to on a pound against yen. Pound against Aussie, we just looked at, right, and has been just reflective of that kind of Bosch, that kind of sterling weakness, Aussie strength. If we look at the pound against the Kiwi dollar, that has been kind of the same. All right, 4-hour chart running away there. And let's just go to the daily charts because when I looked at on this on the weekly chart, he spent quite a bit of time in blocks in ranges with pound New Zealand dollar. This spoke about at the end of last year that I was looking at, is this a double top here with the second leg being a really bearish and engulfing reverse candle, and then we got this nice swing, swing higher. It's a lower swing high, and then now last week what we did is we closed beneath the 50. To me, none of that is terribly, bullish. All right, and what I'd probably be expecting is maybe is pop up a bit and then drop a little bit. Okay, so I think if we get no interest rate cuts from the UK, and there is talk now that we might only get one this year because inflation in the UK remains so kind of what's the word, so sticky. That could happen, but then of course Kiwi dollar seems to be having a little bit of a certainly over the last couple, it has been having a bit of a bit of a run there, hasn't it? And that's quite some move there, right? Quite some furling away, So doesn't seem to want to break these lows at the moment, but as I said, with the Bank of England on Thursday, you've got 2 days to it. I think maybe we'll see quietness before that after we get those Kiwi job numbers tonight, and then I think we'll have 36 hours of peace and quiet. Pound against Canadian dollar, pound against Canadian dollar, on the weekly chart, that is still an uptrend. The 50, as always, is holding there nicely, isn't it? The 50 is holding there. This at the moment, it's not making. The thing is, it can't make kind of a newer high at the moment. So I think it's a little bit of limbo. Certainly, it's bullish. It's S1, stand on Bravo, but yeah, I wouldn't exactly say it's launching itself higher, okay, or getting me terribly excited about wanting to work in it. Certainly in the kind of if you can catch these 4 hour swings, that's nice. All right, that's nice, but equally for every one of these nice swings, there is really scrappy price action as well. So pound against CAD, you just have to tread carefully. And let's finish with euro against sterling. Euro against sterling on the weekly chart, sort of drifting its way down there, down towards the 50, as I think I might have said the other week, just working its way down there in that channel. On the daily chart, interestingly this week, okay, we've gapped beneath the daily 200. All right, I was expecting we come back up and test it. There's still time for that, but that trend is there. That is, that I think that's euro weakness more so than sterling strength itself. On the 4 hour chart, it bounces off the 300, bounces off the 20, bounces off the 200 and the 50, and it's just working its way down there. It's a bit scrappy. It's a bit scrappy there at the moment in euro sterling. Okay, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's draw it to a close there. Okay. As always, I hope you found that useful. I hope it's given you a little bit of help and insight that you can take away for your own trading. It's going to be an interesting week, ladies and gentlemen. So as always, make sure you're on top of the news flow. Make sure you're on top of the order flow. Make sure you're on top of your risk management. Have a fabulous trading week, everybody. And I look forward to speaking to you soon. Take care and trade well, everybody. Cheers.